Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I wanted to talk about an experience I had last week. I had an amazing experience with about 50 leaders from an organization across the US and Canada, where they invited me to talk about Agile, or specifically the Agile Mindset, for about 3 hours. So these poor people have to listen to me for 3 hours, and you guys sort of get 3 minutes of that, right? Right? So one of the things that I found amazing was the robustness of the discussion that happened, given that a lot of the people, I'm talking 80–90% of the people, had no technology background at all. We were really thinking about how does Agile as a concept, the mindsets, fit into each of their work practices, maybe not even in terms of process, but just in terms of mindset. So that kind of inspired me a little bit to come up with a series of Why Shy Why, talking about mindset. And today I wanted to hit the ground running, talking about a specific part of that, and that is the idea that we are, we as an Agile, as thought leaders or even contributors, a think tank in Agile, we do ourselves a disservice by not talking about how difficult mindset is in the real world. There's a guy called Michael Sahota. He's a Torontonian Canadian. I kind of haven't had much of an opportunity to work with him, but he is sort of the pinnacle of the sort of stuff we do. And he talks about this thing called the second wave of Agile, which is really starting to embody Agile as a set of principles that live inside you, almost aligned with your personal values maybe. And that's kind of where you start to see true transformation happening, both in small organizations and corporates. And that was basically what we talked about for 3 hours straight the other day. One of the key things that I found was interesting was people kept asking me, well, Shai, how do you actually operationalize mindset? You know, what do I have to do with my teams, with my business units, with my department to get to a place where they are thinking about the sort of things we are thinking about? There's no easy answer to this, and this is unfortunately my personal perspective, the reason why Agile transformations, especially large-scale ones, go so wrong. They're too prescriptive. We're talking about process, we're talking about tools. Yes, that's part of the Agile landscape, but for me, wait, let's show this. So here's a slide that I used last week. It's basically the idea of an iceberg, and what you can see is the Agile, the part of the iceberg you can see, which is the lesser part, I guess, is the skill set and tool set required to implement Agile. And I use the word implement in an organization. By far the most important, by far the most complex, by far the most hardest thing to do, however, is below the surface, the stuff you do not see, and that is mindset. And so really, guys, when you're thinking about operationalizing mindset, what you're actually doing is moving away from the idea of mindset. Operationalizing mindset has one key feature, and that is leadership. It has nothing to do with your position in the organization, by the way. It's all about leadership. It's about thought leadership. It's about living your values. It's about pragmatism. It's about congruence. It's about all the things that you think leadership is about, but in Agile. And that's kind of where I want to leave that for now, because it should start ticking a couple of things in you guys' heads. What we'll do is we'll sort of keep going down this theme for the next couple of Why Shy Why. And if you have any questions that pop up because of this, please feel free to get in touch with me. Cheers.